Is the Samsung Galaxy S8 worth buying in 2020? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S8. And I've got to say, there's never been a better time other than now to buy this phone. And I'll explain why in this video. Now, the Samsung Galaxy S8 was launched in April of 2017. So at the time of me recording this video, the phone is almost at 3 years of age. So that's quite a bit of time since it was launched. But the good thing is that the phone has gone down in price quite a bit since its original launch date. Now, I bought this phone for just $249.99, and it is a renewed device, which I bought from Amazon. Now, if you're not familiar with the Amazon Renewed program, essentially these are previously used devices and phones that have been returned, and they receive the renewed treatment, so essentially they're cleaned up. In some situations, they replace the glass on the front of the display. But the point is that if you do buy a phone through the Renewed program, it is going to be a device that's in good working condition. And most of the time, you're going to be able to save potentially hundreds of dollars compared to buying the device brand new. So that's certainly the case for the S8. I mean, this phone is in excellent condition. In fact, it's really hard to even see any signs of usage. So I think I got especially lucky with this one. But definitely take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date pricing for the renewed Galaxy S8 over on Amazon, because I'm sure that even since I recorded this video, the price has continued to go down. Now, this variant of the device is the GSM unlocked version of the phone. It features a 5.8-inch display with Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The display itself is Super AMOLED at 1440p, so a really good display with great colors and viewing angles. So I'm a big fan of that. We're getting a PPI of 570 and an 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio. And the screen to body ratio on the phone is 83.6%. So we do of course get some bezels on the top of the device and on the bottom, but overall it's still a very good looking device. I know that for some people who don't want to have notches or hole punches in their display, they're certainly going to like this design because if you want to watch video content, for example, there really is nothing getting in the way. Now on the top of the device, we have an 8 megapixel front-facing camera and a 2 megapixel camera for the iris scanner. So this phone does have an iris scanner in addition to a fingerprint sensor on the back and of course face unlock. So a lot of different options for unlocking the phone. And as you saw right there, the fingerprint sensor is extremely fast and accurate. Now, the placement of it is a little bit awkward being so high up. So I'm not totally a big fan of that. I kind of wish it was a little bit further down, like right here. But it is certainly something I can live with, considering that I did pick up this phone at such a great discount. Now, internally, you're getting 64 gigabytes of storage with the phone. And if that's not enough for you, you do have the ability to add a micro SD card. You do get wireless charging with the Samsung Galaxy S8, which is pretty awesome. And on the back, we have a single 12 megapixel camera. Now you do get portrait mode with both the front and rear cameras, which is pretty awesome. So despite this phone being launched almost 3 years ago, you do still get some in-demand features such as portrait mode. Now internally, the device features 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835. Now, we've gotten quite a few other flagship processors from Qualcomm since the launch of the 835. Of course, we've gotten the 845, 855, 855 Plus, and then of course the latest 865. But I'm actually very impressed with the performance of the 835. You're still going to get a very smooth experience with the device. And I did run an Antutu benchmark test with the phone, and you can see that I got an overall score of 244,002. So that's a really good score. And in fact, if you were to buy a brand new budget phone at around the same amount of money that I paid for this device, there's no way that you'd be able to get performance up to the level of being able to get an Antutu score that's this good. So that's a very impressive score. And certainly being able to get good performance like you get with this device is one of the benefits of buying an older flagship versus buying a brand new budget phone. So definitely let me know in the comments section what you think about that and whether or not you see that as something that makes it worth it to buy an older flagship. Now, video recording with the Samsung Galaxy S8 maxes out at 4K at 30 frames per second for both the front and rear. So if you are looking for a device that takes great looking video, as well as photos by the way, then you should certainly think about getting the Galaxy S8. Now the phone features a 3000 milliamp hour internal battery, so pretty decent battery capacity. Of course, not breaking any records either, but you do get 15-watt fast charging with the phone as well. So that is 3 times faster than what you'd get with the standard Apple 5-watt charging adapter. So just to kind of give you a benchmark there to base it off of. So yeah, you can definitely charge this phone pretty quickly if you do have a 15-watt wall adapter. Now the software on here is Android 9 Pie with Samsung's One UI 1.0. So certainly don't expect to get Android 10 on this device. I'm pretty sure that they stopped updating it at Android 9. But one really cool surprise with the Samsung Galaxy S8 is that the phone does still continue to get security patches. So I just got the March 1st, 2020 security patch, which is the latest security patch for Android. So it is really cool that Samsung does continue to deploy security patches despite this phone being almost 3 years old. So that's really cool. I know that there's a lot of different companies, especially companies that create budget phones, that don't really provide any security patches beyond maybe the first month or two. So at least you know, with going with an older flagship from Samsung, you still do have one of the most up-to-date software patches. So I certainly think there's a lot of value in that. Now, if you're a big fan of Samsung DeX, which is essentially a functionality where if you plug your phone into a monitor, you can use it as a computer. You do get that feature on this phone. So anyone that's a DeX fan certainly should also be a fan of the Galaxy S8. Now, as far as the hardware goes, you're getting a very premium build with the phone. You are getting a metal band running on the sides of the device, so certainly a nice premium touch. Of course, I already talked a lot about the front panel here, but overall, I think it's still a really good phone in 2020. So even though it doesn't have some of those features, such as a hole punch for the front-facing camera, or a pop-up camera, or even a notch, I think the device still has decently small bezels and does look really nice. We do of course have a curve on the display itself, and on the right side here, if you swipe over, you do access the edge screen. So that's a really cool feature that you do of course get with Samsung's One UI. Now taking a look at the left side of the device, we have the volume button and the Bixby button. So a dedicated Bixby button with the phone. Something I'm not too crazy about because I personally don't use Bixby, but if you do use Bixby, that's cool that the button is there. Then on the right side of the phone, we have the power button. Then on the top of the device, we have the noise canceling microphone, and we have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. Then on the bottom of the phone, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack. We have a USB-C port for charging and data transfer. By the way, this is the oldest Galaxy S series phone that features USB-C because the Galaxy S7 does have micro USB. We also have a microphone and then of course the speaker. And then flipping over to the back, of course we have glass back here, so a nice premium touch, but we're also getting the camera, we're getting a heart rate sensor, we're getting the fingerprint sensor, and then Samsung branding as well. So overall, just a really nice piece of hardware. Pretty incredible that you can get this for just around the $250 price point. And again, of course, take a look at the links in the video description because you'll see the latest pricing over there. I'm very happy with the Galaxy S8 in 2020. I certainly think it would be a very wise choice for many people, especially if you must buy a phone in that price range of around $250. Now, of course, there are some downsides that you want to keep in mind as well. Now, going with a renewed phone like this, you're likely not getting a brand new battery compared to if you're to buy a brand new phone. So definitely consider that you might not be able to get as good of battery life with this phone compared to when it was brand new. But beyond that, I can't think of too many other downsides to it. And there are actually ways to swap out the battery. I'll do a video in the future kind of going over that. There are some different companies that you can send this phone into. I don't think you can actually send it into Samsung themselves, but there are third-party companies that have specific expertise in battery swapping. So I suppose if you wanted to kind of budget like $60 or $70 for that, beyond what you're paying for this phone as it is, then doing that would give you a device with a nice, fresh, brand new battery. But that really is a decision that you're gonna have to make personally. Now, if you're a big fan of Instagram, then you're definitely gonna like the Samsung Galaxy S8. So performance is really good on here, very smooth scrolling overall. If you wanna go over to your stories, those work really well too. So, great performance here. So definitely with that 1440p display, everything looks super crisp and clear. Of course, pinch to zoom is nice and smooth as well. So that's all really good. And then if you want to record any video content or take any photos with this device, of course, that's a great experience as well. Video content or take any photos with this device, of course, that's a great experience. You're getting excellent onboard microphones, which is another great advantage with the S8. So certainly if you're looking to save some money, but at the same time, you don't want to really compromise in some of those features like video recording and taking photos that are nice and clear, then I think the S8 certainly should be a phone on your wish list. But I'm really curious to know your thoughts about the Samsung Galaxy S8. Do you think it's worth going with? Or do you think it's worth spending a little bit of extra money and maybe getting the S9 instead? Or would you rather just get a brand new budget phone and leave it at that? I'm really curious to know what you think about that. Of course, a lot of awesome phones coming out this spring and summer, so I'm looking forward to covering all those different devices here on the channel, so certainly make sure to subscribe. But again, let me know about your thoughts about the Galaxy S8 and whether or not you think it's a good choice. But I certainly think it is a phone that you should certainly consider. Of course, there's a lot of different smartphones out there right now to choose from, but this one certainly does stand out. But this is Kevin here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.